name is Steve Stevens, the best sports consultant money can buy. I make more money betting sports than anybody in the world. I'm the one that tells you who to bet. I'm not a bookie, I'm the Bookie Killer.
If money talks, then I got a lot to say. I'm on the grind trying to make $100,000 a day. The game that I pick, believe me, it's a winner. What I know could get you rich, cause all I pick is winners. Welcome to Las Vegas. Money talks, money talks. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the VIP Sports Podcast. I'm Steve Stevens, a.k.a. the Bookie Killer, sitting here with my co-host, the Big Skip. And I got to be honest with you guys, the older I get, the hotter it gets in Las Vegas, I lose a little of my swagger, man. This fucking heat is killing me. I don't know what's hotter, my games or the concrete right now, Skip.
I got to tell you, July 4th weekend is approaching us. It's hotter than hell. It's hotter than an armadillo's nutsack.
Hotter than fish grease.
You've got to be a seasoned veteran to live in the desert. I mean, you got to. Takes a lot of getting used to this.
Well, you got to be a triple OG like myself. You got to know how to handle the heat. And if you can't take the heat, get your ass out of the kitchen.
That's right. It's Thursday, June 29th. It's already the end of June. We're halfway through 2017, Steve.
It's going to be like this, and we'll be in college football before you know it, my friend.
Podcast 128.
128. Life is great, is all I can tell you.
You ain't lying about that.
I want to give a shout out to a couple of the largest podcast companies in the world. Good friends at Podcast One. We're working a major deal, Skip, to get our podcast finally to the 25, 50,000 viewers that we deserve.
We're always working major deals over here.
Correct. Well, we kept it organic for a reason. As a good friend, Joe Rogan, told us, keep it simple, keep it organic, and the people will come to you. Is that not what he said?
Yeah.
It's starting to come true. So, Podcast 128, if you love what we've done so far, you're going to love where we're going. If you're just catching on to the VIP Sports Podcast, the reason why we do it, you guys might have seen our hit show Money Talks on CNBC. I'm the most feared sports bettor in the world, documented 72.3%. I'm the guy that tells you who to bet. In other words, I'm not a bookie, I'm a bookie killer.
Correct.
So the show we don't have on Money Talks on TV anymore, so this is pretty much a continuation of Money Talks, pretty much brings you into my life of a guy that bets big and lives larger, but more importantly, teaches you people how to be better sports bettors. And more importantly, to help the legalization of sports betting. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Anything you would like to add on that with the sports bet, what the podcast is all about?
I'm just fired up, man. July 4th weekend, it's one of my happiest times of the year. I love July 4th.
Well, goddamn, you should. It's a time to celebrate.
I love it. I mean, it's hot here in Vegas. There's no doubt about it. You got to be able to deal with the heat. But, however, the hotter it gets out here, Steve, the more they take off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, I do, my friend.
These women, I was on the strip yesterday because I had a client in town. I don't go over to the strip, as you know, unless there's someone here that I got to see.
Oh, if there's money, you'll be right there.
The eye candy on the strip right now, folks, oh, my God.
They're coming out everywhere, huh?
They're barely wearing anything, and I'm not complaining, my friend.
Well, I mean, people have always said, you need to go to Brazil or you need to go here to see the finest women in the world. Well, let me state facts to you guys.
They come to us.
The finest women in the world come in and out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Hands down, bar none. The #1 city. The baddest women come in and out of this city.
Absolutely.
Nonstop.
Absolutely. From all over the world. You get
all over the world.
All kinds of flavors.
Correct. Oh, nonstop. It's your choice.
I'm a happily married man. I've been with the same woman 32 years, but I got to tell you, the eye candy in this town is unbelievable this time of the year.
Absolutely. And like I said, I love being born and raised in Las Vegas. I always have. Like you said, the heat really doesn't bother me.
No.
You got to learn how to handle the heat, especially in this business. Like I said, this is a hard industry. Everybody's trying to take your fucking money. You want to make sure you're on point, especially with this books. Want to make sure you're working with the players, the coaches, CEOs, but more importantly, making you people money. It's the 4th of July edition.
Speaking of 4th of July.
Pop the fireworks off, pop the champagne. Let's get into the show.
Speaking of the 4th of July, there's been an awful lot of fireworks going off in some of these sports books. I can tell you that. We put a firework straight up their ass the other night.
No doubt about it. Yeah. And we're going to
Bottle rocket style, right up the shooter.
And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
Tell them how they can get a hold of us, Steve, if they want to get in on this shit.
Because there's so many trolls out there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know that you're dealing with the numero uno, El Scorcho himself, VIP Sports, the professional organization of grown men dedicated to providing the best sports information available, 877-220-6540. Give us a call. One call, That's all.
That's right.
You can check us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, VIP Sports LV. Don't forget to subscribe. Press that little bell. That way you get an alert, when you're calling.
Absolutely.
We get so many new people that are coming from out of the country. Albania, Switzerland, Africa, Tahiti,
everywhere.
Jamaica.
Shout out to all our Aussies out there.
Oh, I love you
I got
guys, Mike.
right now I have about 9 or 10 Australian clients just from Australia.
Well,
we have more clients outside of the country than most sports consultants have in the country, Steve.
No doubt about it. And
that's a fact.
We get more walk-ins than any hair salon you've ever seen in your life. And with the Floyd Mayweather fight happening right next door, we're going to have a lot of events, a lot of updates, and a lot of people coming in and out of the office.
A lot of celebrity appearances here at VIP Sports.
Nobody has more information on that fight than me, my friend. I can tell you that right the fuck now. So
absolutely. Go to our website. It's what the hell is it? Blah, 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 blah.
The VIPSportsLasVegas.com.
That's what it is,
Big
Steve.
Skipper.
That's exactly what it is.
If you haven't been there in a while, VIPSportsLasVegas.com. We have packages for all size, shape sports bettors.
Yep.
If you're just getting in the game, if you're a housewife, if you're on disability, you got in a car wreck, you're sitting on your back, let us make you an extra $5,000, $10,000 a week. If you have money in the stock market and you're making 5-10%, let me make you 300% a week on your money.
Absolutely. Or if you want to be walked right through it, like he said, give us a call and we'll talk to you personally, explain everything to you. If you've never bet on sports before, if you're out there looking for a second or third income, don't be timid, don't be shy. We're easygoing guys. Don't be afraid of us. Don't be intimidated. Give us a call and we'll walk you right through everything.
Got a great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball, the hots, what's not. We're going to talk about ballparks. We're going to talk about over-unders. The main factors in making money, of course, is totals right now. We're going to tell you what home favorites are the number one teams that pay you. And we're going to go over a couple stats on what teams make you the most amount of money when it comes down to betting sports. If you guys are looking for someone's stats, I don't go over every team. I won't tell you about teams that don't get you paid. I'm going to tell you about teams that make you money for sports betting purposes only.
Right, and to get your beak wet a little bit, because everybody loves football and everybody loves betting football, and college football is only just barely over 50 days away.
Goddamn right. We're going to talk about some football as well.
I mean, we're 2 days away from being in July, okay? College football starts the end of August. It's going to be here before you know it. So we're going to talk about 2 or 3 teams and what our opinions on those teams are going to be, just to get your beak a little wet with football. Talk about maybe a couple coaching changes in the NFL. We're going to get into a couple things like that.
Talk about how Floyd Money Mayweather's looking like a fucking superstar next door over here.
Looking real good.
A little inside information. You were in there with me 2 days in a row, Skip. What'd you think?
He's looking like a beast. He's looking like he's ready.
He's taking it dead serious, though, isn't he?
He takes every fight serious.
Correct. So understand this for you guys out there that think this is some WWE event.
There's no joking around going on over there.
These two men are training as hard as they possibly can, and best believe there might be a guy getting a little bit underwater and getting himself into something he wasn't ready for, but best believe these are going to be two men giving it all they got, and we're going to see who the best boxer is here real soon.
Shout out to the Armed Forces Radio Network on this July 4th weekend. Now more than ever, we want to give you guys and girls a shout out, you men and women over there, keeping us safe all over the world.
Damn right.
The only way we're even able to celebrate our independence this weekend, Steve, is because our troops, our men and women in the military who keep us safe. We're on the Armed Forces Radio Network 3 times a week. Every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then again every Monday at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific. Shout out to the Armed Forces Radio Network. We salute you on this July 4th.
Happy 4th of July, guys. Thanks for keeping us safe. Hopefully we can entertain you, but more importantly, make you fucking money. Whole idea of the VIP Sports Podcast is show you how to be better sports better, show you the traps, show you what's hot and what's not, and let's get into a little baseball right now. If you don't mind, Big Skipper.
Don't get yourself caught in any trap. I mean, hell, we're only 12 days away from the All-Star break.
12 days away from the All-Star break. The season is going fast as possible.
Time is flying.
You're not lying, brother.
And I got to tell you, everything's funny when you're making money.
Everything is funny when you're making money.
It makes things a whole lot better.
That is a fact. Like I said, whoever said money isn't everything, they definitely lied a little bit because money solves a lot of problems.
Well, that's someone that's never had any money.
I was just going to tell you the exact same thing. Someone that tells you money's not everything doesn't have none.
It's not everything.
No, it's not.
Obviously, I love my families first, like we always say. Okay?
This is what I mean. I'm not saying it can buy you to love your wife or buy you that internal happiness, because I know people that are super rich that aren't happy, and me and you have discussed it. We've seen bums holding hand crossing the street happier than I am right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've discussed that in the past.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for you on what I'm saying, but...
it goes, family and health. I mean, but right after family and health, my friend? Money.
Money's going to get you guys eating, paying the bills, putting right side in the right school, and doing where you need to be.
Yeah. Money, money can't... It can make you feel better. It can pay your medical bills and shit, but you need your health, you need your family.
Right.
After that, you need a whole lot of money.
There's not really a lot to talk about in this point of the summer, considering that we're usually like right at our slow time before we pack up, take a week off, go to Hawaii, and really get focused on next season. So, what I do want to talk about right now, though, that is very relevant, is let's talk about like what's been some of the surprises coming up to this All-Star break. Let's keep talking about a little bit baseball.
Okay.
You're a baseball guy. You know more than anybody. You've been dealing with scouts. Between my connections and what you got going, what were some surprises for you in the first half? I mean, I can tell you the biggest surprise that everybody would probably say, and you agree with me, Cubs barely at 500 at this point of the year at the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's definitely a surprise.
I mean, don't you guys agree? That's got to be one of the biggest surprises ever. Cubs hitting 500. Tell me some of the surprises that you think,
They're
Skip.
pitching. The Cubs pitching just hasn't been what it was last year, folks. Arrieta just hasn't been the same. Lester hasn't been the same. Hendricks hasn't been the same. It's just their pitching in general, Steve. Yeah, they're not hitting the ball like they were last year either. However, it's the pitching that has really left them down, and they're barely a 500 team, as you mentioned, and that is definitely one of the surprises here in the first half. The All-Star game, by the way, July 11th, right around the corner down there in Miami. Thinking about maybe...
You might be able to get me out the house for that one, Big Skipper. Little Miami.
Thinking about
little Fountain Blue, maybe.
It's not exactly a bad town to go to. I mean, if we got to go to Miami, you might have to twist my arm.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a great town to go to for 5 days. Shout out to Tootsies and everything out there in the MIAO.
I'll tell you what. This is the time of the year, folks, when the baseball players take a break. Obviously, there's no NBA going on. There's no hockey going on. There's no college or pro football going on. We got arena football. We got WNBA and baseball. So this time of the year in July, every year, the boys always get away for a week. We always get away during the All-Star break.
We're able to recharge our batteries as well. I can't just come every week and be a workaholic, right?
Well, and it just so happens the All-Star game is in Miami this year. Not a bad place to hang out, Steve, if we're going to take a break.
So as you know, Miami would be a great destination. If you're going to the Miami All-Star break, you might see Steve Stevens and the Big Skipper there for sure.
There's a very good chance of that.
Let's talk about some teams that have been a surprise up into the first half. I can tell you the New York Yankees, as I said it from the beginning of the season, in a couple different ways, has surprised not so much me with how good they would be with a young team, because in the last few games, in the last 10 games, they haven't been all that. You know what I mean?
Well, I can remember during spring training this year, just a couple months ago, I remember all the Yankee fans telling me, "Oh, Skip, the Yankees are going to be good. They're going to be great. Man, they're kicking everybody's ass in spring training." I said, relax, it's spring training. If I'm not mistaken, they did have the best record in spring training. And all the Yankee fans were fired up and they're ready to go. Like, they already had them winning the World Series.
Oh, I no doubt. They still do.
Well, I got to tell you, they got a nice, young, talented team. Led by the Judge, Aaron Judge.
The Judge's Chambers, one of that.
The guy is a beast.
To say the least.
6'7", 285 pounds of fucking steel.
Hashtag a beast, to say the least.
God. And here we are coming to the All-Star break, and the Yankees have the second best record in the American League. If you would have asked me if that would be true or false before the season started, I would have said false and laughed at you. I'm very impressed at the way they've built this young team and how good they are right out of the gate, Steve.
I think it's going to continue. I think they're going to keep their mojo. I think if they keep focused and keep their head on the grind, I think they can finish the year strong.
They're not going anywhere.
And I don't see them going anywhere. I see them getting better, if anything. Second best in AL, just like you said. Very impressed. Anybody else?
The only place I can really see them going, maybe visit CC Sabathia in another alcohol rehab.
Well,
other than that, they're not going anywhere.
His last 5 games, he's actually played good, but yes, they need to get rid of him. No one else will take him, Skip. We've said it before, we'll say it again. No one else wants to pick up that payroll. Would you?
Oh, no, absolutely not. You kidding me?
Well, who else has surprised you coming up to the All-Star break?
The Giants, the San Francisco Giants.
Surprised you for what? Being a pile of shit?
They are horrible.
I was like, surprised.
Second worst record in the National League. The only team that's worse is my Phillies. The Giants are just god-awful. They're 20 games out of first place.
20 games out of first place.
They're in last place in the National League West. Wow, Bruce Bochy, you're not used to this. I mean, this is a team.
This is not how they were projected to play.
This is a perennial postseason team, Steve. I mean, they're in the playoffs every year. Oh. I mean, if you would have told me that the Giants would be 20 games out of first place at the All-Star break and have the second worst record in the National League, I would have said you're full of shit.
Buddy, the Dodgers are the only thing keeping the West Coast even on the fucking map.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Oakland, embarrassing. They've been playing okay. But
Terrible. The Angels, terrible. The Padres, terrible.
Dodgers,
and now the Giants are horrible.
Gee, the West Coast is hurting right now, big time.
The Dodgers are the only team playing any kind of ball in California. That's for damn sure.
I'll tell you, the Nats and the Rockies are for real. That's a surprise that I want everybody. If you weren't surprised or you thought it wasn't going to happen, well, it's no surprise now. Colorado and the Washington Nationals are absolutely for real. Two best records in the National League, Skip. So.
Yeah, they're the two best teams right now heading into the All-Star break at the National League. The Dodgers are right there with them. Colorado Rockies are for real, people. That lineup is for real.
And they went on the road, don't they, Skip?
Yes, they do. Colorado is a real solid team. They will be there at the end. They are not a fraud. This is not just a fluke. That lineup is badass. Very good.
Let me ask you, who's going to make it further, Washington or Colorado?
Wow. Don't put me on a spot like that, brother. That's a tough one.
I'd have to say Colorado has the better team this year. Washington has let me down.
I like Colorado better.
They're playing better. I don't know if they got more talent, but they're playing better for sure.
I think Washington has better pitching. I like Colorado's lineup better from an offensive standpoint.
You like their bats better than Colorado's?
No, I like Colorado's.
Oh, okay.
I like Colorado's offense better. Okay. I like Washington's pitching better.
Okay.
Sticking to the National League, the New York Mets. Oh, my God. Have they been... There's a surprise.
Terrible.
Absolutely
to say the least.
Absolutely terrible. They're just like the Cubs. Their pitching has failed them, Steve.
Yeah, they has.
To their credit, they had a lot of injuries. The Mets the first half of the season. However, their pitching has been absolutely terrible.
The only thing that I could probably add to that is the Mets have definitely disappointed me. It seems they're that team that they play, they disappoint, and then they come back and light this little fire and get everybody a little excited for a second, or win a couple games in a row and then let you right back down. They haven't been consistent. I would put Mets right there above foreclosure. It's a team not to bet your money on ever. Don't bet on.
If you're betting the Mets, you got to be very selective.
No different than the St. Louis Cardinals, which is another.
No, there's another disappointment.
Which is another disappointment of the year
Terrible.
up until now in the
Cardinals,
All-Star break. So pretty much we agree that to the All-Star break, the Mets have been a fucking disgrace. No doubt about it. St. Louis is terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible. And the thing that's surprising about the Cardinals, Steve,
is
normally they play very well at Busch Stadium on their home field.
Right.
Traditionally, over the years, the St. Louis Cardinals are real hard to beat on their own field. This year, I don't even think they're 500. If they are, they're real close to 500 at home. Barely 500 if they are at all.
Well, St. Louis has always been known to win at home, very high percentage. And I'll tell you exactly, you're right on the nose. Around 500 at home.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of baseball and surprises of the first half, the baseball segment is being brought to you by BetOnline, is it not, Steve?
You're goddamn right. BetOnline.
BetOnline.ag. Do you want me to tell them about them?
Go ahead. Let's get it on.
BetOnline.ag. They've been around. Their whole management team, Steve, has been together since 1991. I mean, that's a long time. It's the web's most popular betting destination. They offer wagering on nearly every sport and every event you could possibly think of. Once you're in on the action, you'll see firsthand why BetOnline.ag has an A+ rating. You can't get any better than A+, right?
Not that I checked.
Another thing about BetOnline.ag is they put out the opening lines earlier than most other books. They're one of the first people to put lines out on the games. It's real important to have a book that's going to post numbers early because you can take advantage of those early numbers in this business. The best live betting software in the business. Most importantly, Steve, as we always say, fast payouts. Am I right?
Like I said, I don't know how long they're going to last as our sponsor, but yes, I can't refer to you any particular book, but if you're going to play with somebody, all I care about is that you get paid, and you get paid quickly, because as I win, I want to get paid as well. So
that's right. Head over to betonline.ag, sign up today, set your account up if you're looking for somewhere to go. use the code all day. Type in all day where it says promo code, and they'll give you a 50% welcome bonus instantly added to your bankroll. BetOnline.ag because you can.
Back into baseball, I want the lesson today. I'm not really going to give you a big lesson because we're not in that point. We've given lessons out all year in baseball.
I feel like a school teacher.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm about to take my summer break. Okay, if we're school teachers, that's going to take a summer break. I know you're looking for me for motivation. I'll always give it to you. You're looking for us to teach you something new, but and maybe the guys that have just started listening to us today, go back to throughout the entire year of baseball. We've given you every piece of knowledge possible and have taken you over 70+% just based off free games that we've given you on our podcast, telling you what to do.
My client Kyle just yesterday, you know what he said to me? He goes, you should change your name from Skip to Nostradamus. The way you see the future, the way you project shit in the future.
No doubt.
You guys got to have a crystal ball over there. You know what I told him? No, what we got is we got Steve's bankroll. We got Steve's money behind us.
Which is gold balls.
We got Steve's contacts. We got a network set up, not just here in Vegas, but all over the country that reports information into our headquarters here in Vegas. We're not over here throwing darts. We're not betting games because we want to watch them on TV. We're not betting because it's our favorite team or because it's a team we hate. We just want to bet against them. We're not doing this for the hell of it, people. We do this to make money. Simple as that. So if you want to make money, give us a call. And like he said, we're just pointing out a couple things to you here. We're getting ready to go on vacation. It's July 4th weekend. And we're fired the fuck up, man.
Well, not only that, but last time I checked, we run the biggest sports consultant firm in the world.
Yes,
company that does, millions and millions and millions of dollars a year versus, guys that don't do what they say. So we just want people to be involved with the #1 sports bettor. If you bet sports and you haven't called us, you're trying to do it on your own. If you bet sports and I'm the best, why wouldn't you call me? Why wouldn't you pick up the phone and say, Steve, let's get to work, let's make some money? Give me the opportunity to turn $5,000 into $25,000, $50,000 into $500,000. And if you're a smaller guy, work with Skip and start off with $1,000. Let him turn $1,000 into $5,000 for you. Give us the opportunity to triple your bankroll and show you the formula for success. That's all I'm looking to do. The lesson for today is I want to start telling people percentages of home teams, and I want to talk a little bit about over-unders as well. Is that okay with you?
Do it.
All right, so first of all, there's a lot of runs being scored this year in Major League Baseball, Skip.
Right.
I'd have to say there's been more runs scored this year probably in the last 15 fucking 20 years.
That's also definitely been surprising because normally the first half of the year, the pitchers always seem to have the advantage, especially the first month.
Well, they come out on fire. Yeah, definitely.
Well, the pitchers have the advantage because the hitters don't get their timing down right away, even though they've been through spring training and lots of batting cage sessions. Usually the pitchers have the advantage the first half of the season. Not this year.
No. And what I was
a lot of fucking hitting, a lot of home runs.
What I was getting at is, ladies and gentlemen, what I mean a lot of runs being scored, that means the overs in betting every team in general, 53% to the over.
Correct.
For the entire year. That means a lot of teams are scoring a lot of points. Because you got to understand this, 53% that's at even money, you're not making much money, you're breaking even there, and that's pretty much a high stat for baseball. But that's a true stat, because the juice is even money on that. So 53%, which means you'd be hitting 53%, breaking even.
Yeah, the lesson to be learned there is just because there's a lot of runs being scored, don't think you could just go out there like my friend Pocono Al and just start firing on overs every day.
Exactly.
Because like Pocono Al, you'll end up going broke.
That is correct.
You do not want to just go firing on overs just because there's been a lot of home runs and a lot of high-scoring games. Because the fact of the matter is, only 53% of the games have actually gone over so far to this point. So if you're betting every single game on the board over, you're breaking even. You're not making any money.
But if you're betting,
you're kissing your sister.
Correct. But if you don't want to kiss your sister and fuck her in the ass, and you actually want to get with somebody new and do the right thing and make money, it's a whole different story with what we're doing, Skip.
How about the home team money line, Steve?
Well, what I wanted to finish out about the over, Skip, is in general it's 53%. But if you're playing the select games that we have with overs and what teams are on fire, which we've given 74% stats,
correct.
60, 80, 75, 74 teams that are hitting the overs. If you know what overs to take out of that 53% in baseball,
that's where you're making your money.
You're hitting 75%, and that's where you're making
That's the point
money.
I was trying to make. You can't just go out there and start firing on overs because it's been a lot of run production. You have to pick your spots and know where those overs are, and there's a lot of money to be made, and that's why we're here.
Sorry to cut you off. You were saying home teams?
Home team money lines. So in other words, when the home team on the money line has been covering 55%. Favorites overall in baseball the first half of the season, 56%. Okay? That's a little high. Now, when you put those two together and you take a home team That's favorite?
Which is a parlay, like, and you parlay in which half of America, like 80% of America does.
A home team favorite, 58%. That's your highest payout in all of baseball since the season started this year.
And
now I'm giving you something, folks.
And you know what's crazy?
Home team favorites, 58%.
To the over.
58% cover home team favorites. 58% since the season started. So bet those home favorites in the right spots.
Correct. Home favorites. Pretty much every degenerate bets the home favorite and the over. Last time I checked.
Yes,
I mean that's the biggest trap that the sports books collect on every day. And
that's one of the reasons why the sports books are getting fucking annihilated in baseball right now. Is because the public, the amateur bettors are winning because they are betting the home favorites and the overs.
Well, but I want to explain something to the people too to break this percentage down. So you heard me and Skip go over it. So if we didn't speak about it anymore, you would say, okay, it's 60%. Let's just go bet all the home team favorites in the over. Right. Well, guess what, guys? I can show you how this percentage goes down to about 40%. You want me to break it down for him, Skip?
Go ahead.
If the home team favorites are hitting 58%, well, if the home team favorites are minus $1.40, $1.60, $1.70.
Yeah, sometimes even more.
Sometimes even more. If you take the overall percentage of that 58% home teams and you add on that juice,
right,
you're looking at about 42%, something well under an average that would put you in a losing boat all day long.
That's the beauty of baseball.
As an overall, 58%, I don't think so. Certain teams, home team favorites, like you said, 58%, but what were they favored by?
Right. So the 42%.
That's just to win, dude.
The 42% when they're not winning the game, the home favorites.
Correct.
Like he's saying, you're laying probably $1.80, maybe $2.20, $2.30 on some of those home team favorites.
Let me just do it to you. Let me just do it for you like this.
Just because it's 58%. Doesn't mean you're making any money if you bet every one of them. Matter of fact, you'd be losing your ass simply because a lot of home team favorites are minus 180 or minus 200.
Let me just do simple math for you. 58 games that you've won, out of 100 games, you won 58, right? Mm-hmm. Home team favorites won 58. That means they lost 42.
Right.
So on an average, if that home team was minus $1.50,
you're getting smoked.
That's another 21 units.
Right.
So
60. All of a sudden, you're at 63% the other way.
63% the other way.
Exactly.
So now you're talking about if you're talking about hitting 37%.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Now, if you're listening to this at home and you
and you ain't learning nothing,
you're trying to figure this shit out. I mean. You don't have to get out your slide rule. You don't have to get out
There's no algorithm.
Yeah, you don't have to get out your abacus. You don't have to figure out any algorithms, okay? Just give us a call.
No system.
We got all the numbers. We know what the hell's going on. Give us a call. We're very selective with what we do. We play 1 or 2 games a day. Some days we won't even play if the information's not there. Like I said before, we're not going to bet just to bet or just because we want to watch TV. Give us a call at 877-220-6540 and let us help you make money.
One other thing that we're going to go over with these people because it's that time of the year, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about ballpark design and dimensions, which affects the total.
Yeah.
Another main thing, that's the lesson that I wanted to teach these people. I want to go over the ballpark design and dimensions. Tell people, what fences are shorter than others, what teams are scoring runs, and we'll get into a couple divisions like that as well, because it definitely affects the game, and we'll tell you what teams do what. You want to get into that?
Yeah, let's take a break first.
Want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
We'll get into it right after the commercial break, guys.
The Tiger Stream is the best media streaming Android device that I've ever used.
And when it comes to looking for something to watch, I swear, the Tiger Stream box is
From the moment you open the box, the Tiger Stream is going to stand out from all the other streaming box providers.
Pretty much, we're getting rid of cable because we heard about this.
And y'all already know what it is, your boy Soulja Boy. Shout out to Tiger Stream, we just opened it up straight out the box.
With all the content this device can access, it literally pays for itself in just a few months.
Yeah, man. If you ain't got this in your crib, you ain't no big dog, man.
You do like making money, correct? I'm Steve Stevens. I'm the one that tells you who to bet. I'm not a bookie, I'm the Bookie Killer. Whether you're here in town on business or to flat out gamble, don't forget, sports betting is a multi-billion-dollar industry and you deserve your fair share. Call 877-220-6540 or go to VIPSportsLasVegas.com, mention this ad, and get a $500 personal play absolutely free. See you in the winner's circle.
BetDSI.com. Over 20 years in business, A+ rated and fast and free payment of winnings with odds on all sports and global events. Get a free $25 right now to try the site and a 100% bonus on your first deposit. Go to BetDSI.com now because it's only a game until you bet it.
Welcome back to the VIP Sports Podcast, brought to you by Paperhead. It's time to start making real money by starting your own business today with the best player management software in the business at Paperhead.com. Built with exclusive tools to maximize your profits quickly and easily, Paperhead's secure and user-friendly platform allows you to become your own boss in this billion-dollar industry. Make sure to jot down the link that's showing up on your screen right now and head over to get access to Paperhead's stellar platform at half price. You heard that right, half price exclusively for the fans of the VIP Sports Podcast. So if you're like me, Steve Stevens, and you like to bet big and live larger, no better place to cash in than Paperhead.com. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Let's get into that ballpark dimensions and stuff that affects the totals as well that I want to talk to you about that these people have no clue about, shit that'll help them make a good decision when it comes down to betting certain games, Skip.
It's one of the beautiful things about baseball. Every ballpark plays differently. There's so many variables that go into a ballpark and its dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the same thing that goes.
I mean, the weather, the fences. I mean, you got the monster up at Boston, the big high wall. You got Wrigley Field. Let me just start off by talking about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, Tropicana Field, where the Tampa Bay Rays play. Tampa Bay actually scores fewer runs at home, Steve, than they do away. Okay, most people would think that was shocking. It's a pitcher's ballpark. The unders down there run about 56 to 58% in the last 8-9 years. Way more unders at Tropicana Field than overs, and that may seem to be, that may surprise some people, but that's a fact. In fact, hitters have a much lower home run rate and a much higher strikeout rate in Tampa Bay due to the fact that it's a dome stadium. It's the only completely domed stadium.
It doesn't retract or nothing, does it?
Right, doesn't open up.
Doesn't move at all.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just there back in April, and it started this past April. I was actually a little claustrophobic in that place.
I know I would be for fucking sure.
It was my first time there. It's a terrible field, by the way.
I was just going to say, so
horrible.
you've been, you don't like the park?
No, I don't like the place.
And Skip doesn't say that about too many baseball parks.
Yeah,
so
I didn't like it at all. It was not a good place to play baseball. They got to blow that fucking thing up and build a baseball stadium down there with a retractable roof like they have down in Arizona.
When you talk about it being a pitcher's park, it has to be. Because you know what it is? It's 56% to the under.
Yeah.
So obviously it seems that pitchers do pretty fucking good over there. So, well, that's at least since 2008, 10 years.
That's a trend that's going 8, 9, 10 years, Steve.
Correct. So
way more unders in Tampa Bay than overs, and it's mainly because of that domed roof. I'm telling you, you feel like you're enclosed. It doesn't open up. It's claustrophobic. It's stuffy. But anyway, Tampa Bay scores fewer runs at home than they do on the road. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, write that down and circle it. That's the only piece of information that you guys need to know because you would think the complete opposite. I'll tell you another thing. Rogers Center in Toronto, they have the retractable roof.
Yes, they do.
The rumor is that when the roof is open, they score more runs. Which, in fact, we've came to find out that that's not necessarily true at all.
Another thing that should surprise
Another
you.
myth, huh?
Yeah, right.
But here, this should surprise you. This is what's really going to surprise you, Skip. Especially in Toronto, all walls, left field, right field, center field, they're all like shorter than the league average. In other words, every one of their walls out there is shorter than the league average.
Right.
So it's a baseball park where you would think it's easier to score runs, easier to hit home runs. You got guys like out there like Donaldson and Batista who you think would be scoring like fucking crazy.
Right.
But go ahead and read the stat for these fucking people.
There's no way you guys knew this. In the last 2 years, The overs at the Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays play, only 44% overs.
Since 2015.
That's mind-boggling, actually.
Since 2015.
Yeah, the last 2 years.
85 to 110.
Yep.
To the fucking under. So basically,
that's 44%.
That's an under park right there, in a park where you completely would think the opposite.
Yeah, especially with that lineup, like you said. I mean, they got a lot of beasts over there. They can score runs. Toronto puts up numbers, and with shorter fences, you would think they'd put up a hell of a lot more runs. However, a lot of unders up there at Rogers Center.
So what I want you to mark down.
Guarantee you didn't know that.
I guarantee you didn't know that. Rogers Center, like I said, ladies and gentlemen. All the walls there fall under the league average. They're a little bit shorter than normal.
Yep.
You would think that it's an over park. Well, guess what? Wake up. Hello. It's actually an under park. So write that down. That's a ballpark that is shorter field, but scores less runs. So mark that down as a park you might want to bet the under on.
Watch the unders in Toronto.
Watch the unders in Toronto, ladies
Talk
and
about
gentlemen.
Wrigley Field. Here's another field, okay?
Home of the barely 500 Chicago Cubs.
Exactly. For years, when the wind is blowing out in Chicago, known as the Windy City, for years, the overs have been golden. There was a period from 2005 to 2010 that the overs were 63, 64%.
Outrageous fucking statistic and percentage.
When the wind was blowing out at Wrigley Field, you just automatically knew just to bet the over.
What was going to happen, no doubt about it.
Well, guess what, Steve? The odds makers have caught up with that. Didn't take real long for them to figure it out. And they've adjusted the lines accordingly when it's a windy day at Wrigley. In fact, they've adjusted the number so much that the last 5 years, when the wind is blowing out, the overs are only 45%.
Yeah, 65 and 80.
Yeah. So be careful when the wind's blowing out at Wrigley. Traditionally, over the years, everybody says, wow, jump on the over. It's blowing out at Wrigley. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Well, the odds makers know that too, and they've overinflated the total. They've overinflated the line.
Correct.
Which has caused more of those games to go under when the wind's blowing out than over.
That is what they call an official casino trap also.
That is a trap.
The line makers putting it up there, and they might even put it minus $1.15 to just show a little credibility and excitement.
Or maybe make the line like 10 or 10.5 and give you plus 120 on the over.
And really bait your ass in.
Just to set a little bait in that trap.
Correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, a statistic that's happened for 20 years, except for the last 5 years, they've done the statistics. Every time in Wrigley Field, if the wind was blowing out, you would automatically bet the over. Well, the stats are in over the last 5 years, 65 and 80. So when the wind's blowing out in Wrigley, you might want to look for the under. Write that down and circle it, ladies and gentlemen. That's not too hard to find out. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over a couple fields. I mean, you want to talk about any other stadiums?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about the top 3 stadiums that give up home runs this year so far.
Okay, so let's stay on the ballpark and design and affecting the total.
Ballparks are real important in baseball, especially when you're betting over-unders. Okay?
All right. So
you got to know the park. You got to know the weather.
Goddamn right. Just like we were talking, Wrigley Field. And we were talking about Toronto, shorter walls.
Yep.
You would think there was a lot of home runs, but there's actually less. Well, let's talk about the 3 stadiums where home runs are getting pounded out.
The top 3 home run stadiums in the country, Steve.
Well, I already know number 1 for sure. That's not hard. That's the Great American Park out there in Cincinnati.
That is correct.
Ohio.
There's a reason why Cincinnati has the number 5 or number 6 offense in all baseball. Even though they're horrible, Cincinnati is terrible. They do put up runs because their ballpark, the Great American Ballpark,
well, it's the number 1.
It's a hitter's park.
It's a hitter's park, no doubt about it.
Home runs will fly out of that play. It's like a wiffle ball park.
So write that down, ladies and gentlemen. Cincinnati is a high-scoring field.
Hitter's park.
It's a hitter's park without any shadow of a doubt. If 2 teams are playing that are hitting, you know what pitchers are going on, you might want to look for the over.
Got the right umpire rotation.
The right umpire.
When everything matches up, you can make a ton of money betting overs at Cincinnati home games.
No doubt about it. Another one that, doesn't really surprise me, Yankee Stadium.
That's easy. Wiffle ball park. I told you that before.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems...
I mean, that right field porch is an absolute joke. I mean...
Well, I can't tell. They're not hitting too many out of there.
Oh, my God. They're flying out of there.
Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, Phillies aren't hitting too many out over there.
No, Phillies ain't hitting shit. Phillies are, I don't know, they might be hitting a crack pipe.
I don't even know.
They ain't hitting home runs.
I don't even know who number 3 is, Skip.
Arizona. Chase Field in Arizona.
I can see that being the case. I mean,
a lot of home runs at Chase Field.
A lot of dry air. It's not really all that long. I see it be. That's a hitter's field.
Well, the thing about Chase Field in Arizona, Steve, that people don't realize, It's the second highest elevation in all of baseball.
What's number one? Colorado?
Colorado, of course, yeah, Coors Field. Arizona, second highest elevation stadium in all of Major League Baseball, which obviously high elevation, you built in the heat down there. It's the hottest place in the country to play. Yeah, they got a roof. I understand that. Okay, and but it's still the hottest place. It's hot and it's high elevation, and the ballpark is just built for hitters. A lot of home runs, a lot of runs scored at Chase Field in Arizona.
So the top three fields, without any shadow of a doubt, where the most home runs have been hit, Hitters Park, Great American Park in Cincinnati, Yankee Stadium, and good old Chase Field out there in hot-ass Arizona.
As a matter of fact, the last 2 years, 61% of the games have gone over at Chase Field. 61%. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
61% of the games in Arizona in the last 2 years have gone over. That's a pretty good number, folks.
Well, like I said, with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to sum up. We teach you everything, something a little bit every week about baseball.
We do the best we can, Steve.
Just wanted to tell you what stadiums people are scoring at. Tell you what the top three stadiums people are hitting home runs. What are pitchers' parks? What are hitters' parks? And what fields you need to be looking at to play the over under, because that's where all the money is right now. Showed you about home favorites. Even though it's 58%, if you were to bet every team every day for the year, that 58% would be lower than 40 due to the juice on the home favorites.
Correct.
So you got to know when to pick your spots and what teams to be betting on.
Right. Don't be out there throwing darts on your own. Don't be trying to do this on your own. You can't do it, okay? Let us do it for you.
No doubt about it.
Get a hold of us and let us help you.
One thing that I'm excited to talk about, and I'm sure everybody is, and we're not going to get into it, like I said, I'm about to go in my break. This podcast isn't going to motivate you guys too much. I'm not going to do my motivational speeches. We're not going to go crazy about everything because, like I said, we're at that type of the year where we're ready to chill and refocus for football. But what do you say we get into a little college football? We're talking only 50 days away from college football, Skip. Motherfuckers start getting excited. Break the football out, and let's bottom line, get the fucking money. Paint your face, put your uniform on, get in the game, and let's go break these motherfucking casinos.
There's a hell of a lot of money to still be made.
Everybody comes out the woodworks.
Hell of a lot of money to be made in baseball. Build your football bankroll now while baseball's going on, because as he said, college football is just over 50 days away. It's here. In fact, they just put out the future odds, Steve, on the Heisman winner for this year in college football. The odds came out for the Heisman. Did you see that? I got it right here. I gave it to you.
Yeah, I want to talk all about it. And
check it out.
More importantly, like you said, college football kicks off in just 50 days. We got some futures out that we're going to talk to you about who you think is going to win the Heisman Trophy. I have a poll question that I want you guys to answer for me here coming up. And we're going to get into some football, which is brought to you by my boys over there at BetDSI.com.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Anthony. They're good people. Operating for more than 20 years, BetDSI is an A+ rated and offers fast payment winnings with odds on all sports and global events. From the player who demands it all, including office pools, poker room, horse wagering, skill games, to the well-better like Steve Stevens, who needs a no-nonsense, high-limit sports book.
Nobody likes nonsense.
BetDSI is the perfect choice. Head over to BetDSI today to create your own player account using the promotional code CHEDDAR and get a $25 free play. If you're looking for the best solution to place your action, go to BetDSI.com, where it's only a game until you bet it.
You ain't lying.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
I want to talk about some Heisman.
Sam Darnold, the quarterback, USC, he's favorite, Steve. 5-1 to win the Heisman.
Yeah, let's just go over the top 6 or 7. Tell these people who are favored in this is our college football segment. On the odds are out. Here's who's got one. More than likely, without any shadow of a doubt, one of these 7 people are winning the Heisman this year for sure.
There's a pretty good chance of that. Sam Darnold is the odds-on favorite. The USC quarterback going off at 5-1. The quarterback from Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield, he's going off at 8-1. As a matter of fact, he just settled a couple of charges, Steve.
Last time I checked, he had a little public drunkenness.
Yeah, it looks like
a little disorderly. He got that all. He all got that all cleared up.
It looks like Mr. Mayfield likes his alcohol.
Who don't, Skip?
Yeah, who don't?
You know the whole. Remember what happened?
You can't hold anything against a guy.
Remember the lesson we taught him?
Yeah, for liking his
Enjoy yourself. Just don't get caught. Remember our message to everybody?
Yeah.
Be a human being. Go up in your room, lock the door, and do you.
Do you? Public drunkenness, fleeing the scene, disorderly conduct. Apparently, he's settled all those charges.
Sounds like a normal football player. It sounds like a normal guy.
And now he's ready to settle in on the college football season.
And get fucking paid next year. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, the quarterback from Oklahoma, 8-1 to win the Heisman, and he's tied with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson,
who was last year's Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, Louisville quarterback.
Let me take over on this one. This is my question. Like I said, he's tied 8-1 with Lamar Jackson, who was last year's Heisman winner.
Right.
My question and poll question to you is, has anybody ever won the Heisman back-to-back?
You want me to answer that?
I don't know.
Or you want them to answer?
Do you know?
I don't believe so.
No?
I'm not 100% sure, actually.
Well, and this is another thing that I want you to...
Is this a trick question?
Well, no, and this is what I want our fans to know. Listen, I'm not a statistician. I don't have a degree in sports. This podcast isn't to tell you who played in 1954. I've never been claimed to know every player, every coach, every CEO, everything that's been happening in the history of baseball.
You do know how to cover the spread, though.
What happened in 1954 has no fucking bearing on the game played today.
Amen.
What I'm the best in the world at is winning games against the spread today.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what Jackie Robinson did in 42. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So my point to you guys is I don't know the answer. Has anyone ever won the Heisman back-to-back? You tell me. And if they have, who was it?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I mean, it sounds like a trick question.
And do you think...
Are you setting me up?
No, I'm not setting you up. And then the other question that I want you to continue to ask is, do you think Lamar Jackson would get it and go back-to-back? Yes or no?
He's got a good shot.
Yeah, he does. Moving on, J.T. Barrett, Oklahoma State quarterback.
Ohio State quarterback.
Ohio, I'm sorry. They got him at 10-1. 10-1. Jake Browning, out there at Washington State's quarterback, you know.
15-1 on them.
He should have been right around 10-1. He's a little bit better than people think he is. Go ahead, Skip.
Yeah, he's going to put up. I think he should be a little lower, actually. He actually has a chance. DeAndre Francois, or whatever the fuck his name is, Florida State quarterback. He must be French. 12-1 on Florida State's quarterback. Now, there's two running backs in the top 10, Steve. Alabama's running back, Bo Scarborough, and Penn State's running back, Saquon Barkley. They're both listed at 20-1. So all the quarterbacks are up near the top. The only two running backs that are really in the top 10 at 20-1, Alabama and Penn State's running backs, Barkley and Scarborough. So that should be interesting to see what happens. You picking any one of those?
I would like to see somebody new win it, of course, because
you say Jake Browning is your long shot.
Yes, I do.
15-1.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
But the reason, I mean, I'd have to say if I don't know. Yeah, like you said, he has an honest shot, but I can't see Lamar coming out playing worse this year than he did last.
That's what I'm saying. Pretty good chance he'll get it again at 8-1 odds. If you think he can get it, that's a nice price.
Well, I mean, $800 to win to $100. I mean,
no, 8-1, $100.
$100 to win $800.
Yeah,
so I mean,
not a bad shot.
No, I mean, if you're betting small money, I'm not going to go put up fucking $100,000 in hopes of winning $800,000.
I don't like tying my money up on future bets, folks.
No,
because I don't want the book holding my money for 6 months.
Exactly.
I can take.
Only thing the book can hold for 6 months are my fucking nuts. I'll tell you that right
exactly.
now.
So. I could take that money and flip it 15 times in 16 months. So
no doubt about it.
I'm not going to have them hold my money just to get 5-1 or 8-1.
All right, so let's talk about some season win totals, okay? I want to talk about some over and unders. What I want to talk about in college, okay, is the casinos have came out with projections on the number of wins or losses a team is going to have.
For the season, right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you following me? I want to talk about the casino came out with teams, and you can bet the over and under on how many wins that they're projected to have.
Okay.
You want to start this off for us?
Yes, I do. Last year's national champions, the Clemson Tigers, my friend, 9. The total is posted at 9. Over or under 9 wins for the season. Well, there's been a lot of big losses, especially on offense with the Clemson Tigers. Deshaun Watson, the quarterback, wideout Mike Williams, running back Gallman. They're all in the NFL now, Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not only that, the defensive tackle, Watkins, he had 12 sacks last year. He was a beast on defense. He's in the NFL. He's gone. Carlos Watkins. So
it's kind of hard when you lose 4 All-Stars that make it to the NFL that was running your team last year.
Right.
So you want to ask me, so they got Clemson at 9, over under 9.
Most of their offensive line is coming back, but their key position players, they lost a lot of skill players. And they only got 7 guys coming back on defense, Steve.
Well, that's a lot of holes to fill for somebody that's going to win 9 games, Skip. 9 games is a lot of games to win.
Yeah.
Also, early season, non-conference battle with Auburn this year, September 9th as well.
That's a huge non-conference game. Clemson and Auburn, right in the beginning of the season, September 9th.
Hold on.
That's not going to be an easy game.
Well, let's continue on. I think they got to go against Louisville and then Virginia Tech on the road.
Yeah, 2 more tough games.
Here's what I'd like to say about that. They put the win and loss at 9 wins or losses for Clemson. I would take that under. What would you take?
Under 9 wins on the Clemson Tigers for the season. Last year's national champs. We're saying they do not see 10 wins.
Casinos came out with, like I said, once again.
There's a bold statement, people.
The number of games these teams will win, you can bet it either over or under. We're basically telling you, giving you free money. We would bet Clemson to win less than 9 games.
Well, if it lands right on 9, remember, you get your money back. It's a push.
So they got to win 10 games this season, guys.
They'd have to win 10 games for you to lose that bet.
It ain't happening.
Don't think it's going to happen.
Write that down and circle it.
Right.
Colorado Buffaloes, 7.5 wins.
Right.
So that's a pretty tricky number right there. When it starts getting into the 6.5, 7, 7.5, that's kind of hard. 10 wins last year, Skip.
Yeah.
Only 4 wins the year before.
Correct.
So this is what I want to talk about.
Now, this is important. They won 10 games last year. They had a phenomenal season. Mm-hmm. The year before that, 2 years ago, they only won 4 games.
4 games.
That's a pretty big turnaround. Congratulations to Coach McIntyre. That's a hell of a turnaround.
You turned around that program.
Yeah.
Well, yes, he turned it around. And yes, they had a rabbit foot and a horseshoe up their ass also. Mm-hmm. Because let me break it down a little bit. They went 10 years without a winning record, okay?
Wow.
Yeah, let me explain something to you. I mean, he turned it around to say the least. Went 10 years without a fucking winning record. Mm-hmm. But they also lost their quarterback as well.
Yeah, that Hawaiian dude.
Yeah,
Luafua. Luafua, Fuafaya.
Yeah, only.
Sefo Luafua.
Yeah, brada. I just brada. You know what I mean,
brada? Hey, brada, what up?
Lost the quarterback. Only 12 starters are returning.
Wow.
Lowest in the Pac-12 to be exact.
Only 12 returning starters.
Yeah, so hear me out. Yes, they won 10 games last year.
So half your starters
yes,
are
they
gone.
came back strong. Half of your starters are gone.
Right.
Okay. You got 5 conference games on the fucking road, which is going to be very, very hard for them to swallow.
Yeah.
Now, here's a stat. They went 3-1 on games decided by 7 points or less.
Oh, that's a big one.
So, out of the 10 wins they had, 3 of them were by a couple points, which those games could have went either way. That's when I talk about the rabbit foot and the horseshoe up their ass. They had 3 or 4 solid games that could have easily equated to a loss.
Could have won either way.
Where they got the win. Right. So they had a little bit of luck on their side. I got to give it to Coach McIntyre. He has rebuilt the entire fucking defense.
He's going to have to, for sure.
No doubt about it. And he's trying, and he's putting in a lot of work over there. So I wouldn't put it past him. Only good thing in the early schedule, or fairly easy, is they got 3 straight home games in their advantage. So they put their wins or losses are at 7.5. I'd have to say for them to get that over, they'd have to win those 3 games at home. They'd have to start off.
Yeah, I'd agree, especially since they got 5 conference road games. And in the Pac-12, you can't go on the road in 5 road games in the Pac-12. I think you're coming out of there with 4 wins.
You can't have only 12 starters coming back, the lowest percentage in the Pac-12, and think you're going to come out and win 10 games.
So we might be on to something here, folks. Once again, words to the wise. If you want to tie your money up in a future bet, Colorado Buffaloes, they're not going to see 8 wins. Under the 7.5.
Under, that's a Steve Stevens stamp, big skipper. Under Colorado Buffaloes.
Wow.
They will not have 8 wins.
We are just fucking spewing knowledge here today, Steve.
Well, there's nothing else for us to do. We're doing the podcast just to talk to our people and inform them, give them some information, try to help them and convince them to call so we can build a bankroll for football.
Are we giving them too much, though?
No, because we don't bet futures.
That's true.
We're giving them information that guys like me and you wouldn't bet, but these are stats where a lot of people do. If they call us, we'll tell them how to bet straight bets, 1 game a day, not every day, teach you the formula for success, and make you the best sports bettor in the world. That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, we're pretty sharp over here. We got a lot of money behind us. We have a lot of contacts in this industry, and nobody wins more games on the planet than VIP Sports, and our clients know that.
And nobody deals with bigger people.
Yeah, the only sports bettor in the world to ever be featured on CNBC, the #1 business channel in the world. Not once, but 9 different times. I mean, the only sports bettor in the city to actually be barred from making wagers in the sports books here in Las Vegas. If that ain't telling you something, what the hell is? There's nothing I can say. When the damn casino, when the sports book tells you that you can't bet here, sir.
What else you want me to do? Like, you got people out there talking about their band and they're this, that, and the other. I got videos and paperwork I'm 86 from Cantor Casino. They don't want my money because I win too much. Not from stealing from the casino, not from cheating, from basically winning too many fucking games. That's the bottom fucking line.
So you want to know what he got? Give us a call.
That's pretty much
as
enough.
simple as that.
Anyway, just a couple futures that we wanted to tell you about. A couple teams where they set the line that we wanted to give you our opinion about. Let's do the same thing in the NFL. Let's give a couple little previews for them, and then let's get out of here.
All right, well, the NFL segment, Steve, is sponsored by TigerStream, in case you didn't know.
Yes, I did.
If you're like most sports bettors out there and you want to watch the games that you've got action on, but you can't always find those games on your TV, and nothing pisses me off more than when I got fucking 10 grand on a game and maybe I want to watch the fucking game a little bit, see what's going on. And you can't get it because it's fucking blacked out in your area. Well, with TigerStream, now you can watch any game from around the world whenever you want. Simple, very simple. Get connected with TigerStream to your home Wi-Fi. It's real easy. You get access to every major sporting event. TigerStream also offers access to TV shows, movies, without any kind of annoying pop-ups or malware or viruses. You said your kids were watching movies on it, Steve? At the house?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so listen. Stop everything you're doing right now and go to tigerstream.tv and use the code VIP, and they'll give you 75% off one of their TigerStream units. Keep it real. Cut your cable bill. It's as simple as that. What do you want to talk about in the NFL, Steve?
Let's just talk about a few things. As you know, the Falcons replaced Shanahan with Steve Sarkisian.
Yes.
A guy who only coached a game as an offensive coordinator, one game last year as an offensive coordinator,
Right.
and that was in college.
You raise a good point.
Oh, my God. So, I don't know how that's going to be. Last year, Falcons overs, 13-2-1.
Right.
I don't know about this year. One team that had a high record last year, like I said, that went over 13-2-1.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to happen this year. Team is completely different. I don't know what your...
Well, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, there's some impact here, some drastic impact on Atlanta's offense. I mean, last year, the Falcons' offense was number 1 in scoring, number 1 in yards per play, number 2 in yards per game, and Kyle Shanahan took a little walk. He's now the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been replaced, as you said, by Sarkisian. And a lot of overs, Falcons games, 13 of their games out of 16 went over last year.
Yeah.
And like he said,
I don't think...
You like to bet overs on the Falcon games, and you made a lot of money doing it last year.
Don't do it this year.
Yeah, be careful this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we just want to give you a couple sleepers. Like I said, the over in Atlanta last year was a gigantic bet. Write this down. Look for the unders because the odds makers really aren't on point on that yet. And we're going to have a good chance of you guys making money. You want to talk about the San Francisco 49ers? They got a couple of issues.
Well, they got a whole lot of issues.
Well,
I don't have a whole lot to say about the 49ers. You don't know what Shanahan's going to do there his first year. And, he's got a long way to go to rebuild that offense. That's what I got to say about that.
I don't like Shanahan. I think the Niners are completely fucked. I don't like anything about it.
He ran a pretty good offense in Atlanta, but he's got a lot of work to do over there in San Francisco, I can tell you that. Speaking of Atlanta, their over-under win total for the season I saw was 9.5, Steve. 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's no respect whatsoever.
So that means they got to win 10 games to win. You want to take Atlanta under the 10, no doubt about it.
Under with the new head coach.
Under with the new head coach, 10. Let's move into the Buffalo Bills. Let's give them another one that has a weird number.
Yeah.
6.5. You want to discuss that?
6.5 is the total over-under wins for the Buffalo Bills. 101 to win the Super Bowl. Rex Ryan is going over there. Their defense was below average last year, Steve. They got Anthony Lynn. They let him go, the offensive coordinator. You got Carolina's defensive coordinator coming in and taking over. I just think there's going to be a lot of low-scoring games in Buffalo this year. The reason why we're bringing out these 2 or 3 teams is because these are teams last year, Steve, that when you bet the over, you got paid. Out of 16 games in Atlanta last year, 13 of the times you got paid if you bet the over. Buffalo, 12 times. 12-4 to the over last year, the Buffalo Bills. All we're saying, probably not this year. Carolina's defensive coordinator, McDermott, right? He's now the head coach for the Buffalo Bills. Look for the Bills games to be low scoring compared to what they were last year when they were 12-4 to the over.
We're just trying to give you pieces of information.
We're just trying to get you fired up a little bit for football.
Well, no, we're trying to give you games that you actually have a chance at winning at, rather than betting with your heart. Give me Dallas, Redskins, under in Philly. 90% of everybody loses in the first 4 weeks. So let's look at games that you can bet where you have an honest chance to put your hard-earned money and actually get fucking paid. I mean, it's like having sex without busting a nut. It's useless.
Oh,
if you're going to
God.
bet, you want to fucking win, right?
Who the hell wants to have sex without busting a nut?
Speaking of guys balling out of control and having sex, Gronkowski, the motherfucking superstar, Ron Gronkowski over there fucking the Patriots, balling out of control in a little fucking casino in Connecticut.
I saw that.
Our sources tell us him and a crew of 20 boys were making it rain, bitches everywhere, 160 bottles of champagne. Let me finish the story. This is the reason why I'm even talking about it, because I love him and I love his fucking attitude. So let's just get into it. 160 bottles of champagne, 18 bottles of Ace of Spades, 15 bottles of Dom P, 3 bottles of Don Julio 42, which I think Kelly drank 3 bottles on last couple days. Shout out
I
to
was going
Kelly.
to say, is that what Kelly likes?
She
Don
loves
Julio
42.
42?
Yeah, she'll drink a bottle of 42.
Oh, boy.
And turns into a domestic situation. 16 bottles of Grey Goose, 45 shots of Maker's Mark, 24 shots of Jim Beam Fire.
45 shots.
Sounds like an event you and I could fucking hang out,
like,
no fucking problem.
That
huh?
sounds like my kind of party.
Well, not only does it sound like a cool party and something that you'd want to be at, because you know Gronk is fucking fired up as it is, they bring him
Where did this all take place?
in Connecticut, little casino in Connecticut.
Oh.
So
The Mohican Sun or Foxwoods, one of those.
some little
huh?
casino in Connecticut. Like I said, this is the best part. They bring him the bill for $100,000. He's like, bring me the bill for $100,000. Charge that to the motherfucking game, homeboy. Casino comped the motherfucking bill.
The casino comp.
$100,000 bill.
Oh, my.
Comped it. You can't even you can't even get Mirage or Caesars or Bellagio to comp your $100,000 fucking bill for champagne.
No.
No, they'll give you a bill for $200,000.
I think the biggest fucking ticket they've ever picked up for me is maybe like 3 or 4 G's.
I've been with Floyd where the casino.
Well, that's a different story. I'm talking about me.
I'm talking about the richest athlete in the world. That's what I'm saying. He's a good athlete at that, but they'll pay you to come there and hang out. This, that, and the other.
Oh,
in
yeah.
his case, he went up there, got a $100,000 bill, said, "Get the owner on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm the motherfucking Gronk. Take care of this bill." Fair enough?
So he took 20 of his fucking crew to
And sold the casino to pay the bill.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's how the fuck me and Skip roll, Gronk. We'll come to your casino, get it done, and say, charge that shit to the fucking game.
Absolutely.
Be glad I was here. Fair enough?
Yeah, we got a party with that motherfucker.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Like I said, baseball is in full effect right now. I'm really tired. I've been grinding all year long. I'm about to jump on a flight to Hawaii for a few days, go put on my shorts. I'll send some videos. I don't know where I'm going to see more whales, in Hawaii or in my book that I'm going to be bringing out there to call my guys.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure everything's handled.
Yeah. So all I want to tell you guys is we love you. It's 4th of July weekend. Pop bottles of champagne. Cook out with your family.
Set those fireworks off.
Light those fireworks off, but more importantly, let's light a fire under the bookie's ass and
Yeah.
send his ass to the motherfucking moon.
Yeah.
Our motto is fuck you, pay me. 4th of July is here, and your bookie's gonna have to fucking take it, is all I can fucking tell
Fuck
you.
you, pay me.
Skip, run a promotion. Like I said, guys, here's the deal.
I ain't running no promotion. I'm going on vacation too. Fuck the promotion.
I was just going to say, here's the deal. We don't really have time to run a promotion this week because we want you guys to relax for 7 full fucking days. We want you to get ready to go next week. We want you to get ready for the VIP Sports Podcast to explode this year. We're getting a new set, new cameras, new sponsors, more importantly, a podcast deal, which will finally have us up to the 50,000, 100,000 views that we deserve. People that have been following us from day one, we love you. I got to put it on the charger. I'm more tired than Khloe Kardashian's pussy. And
Wow.
you know how fucking tired that is. That motherfucker's in a coma. It's been beat up so fucking bad. And I feel the same way. From the crew here at VIP Sports, the Big Skipper, myself, happy 4th of July, baseball, apple pie, and OG Kush. See you, wouldn't want to be you. We love you.
And keep your pussy out of a coma.
It's Steve Stevens, I bust your bookie head open. Split it to the white meat, I ain't joking. Me and Dirt Bomb in the ghost float. Straight OG like that kush I be smoking. It's way too potent for rookies to come hit it. A little white girl around, I might sniff it. Poppin' bub in the club, so twisted. My pops keeps telling me to go get it. So I'm at the sports book, betting big on the Clippers. I'm talking about 5 figures, I need a few shots of liquor. Might need another zipper if the bomb play me. Fuck around and put a $500,000 on Tom Brady. When it comes to betting sports, Steve Stevens a beast. Need a certified winner called VIP Sports. Got too many felonies to ride around with my Glock, so sure to keep it since I got shot in Vegas like Pirate.
I keep hearing things. I keep hearing things. It must be the money talking. It must be the money talking. I keep hearing things. I keep hearing things. I keep hearing things. It must be the money talking. It must be the money talking. I keep hearing things.